The New Deal greatly increased the size and power of the federal government. Some critics saw this as a threat to constitutional limits on government. Other critics felt that the New Deal did not go far enough to combat poverty. While FDR argued that the federal government could stimulate the economy by creating jobs, many critics argued that the costs of the New Deal created huge deficits that would force the government to raise taxes and go into debt. Others saw heavy government involvement in the economy, which was characteristic of the New Deal, as a dangerous step towards socialism and a threat to American capitalism. Not all criticism of the New Deal came from political and economic conservatives. There were some, like Louisiana Governor Huey Long and well-known radio host Father James Coughlin, who wanted the New Deal to go even further. Coughlin was initially a supporter of the New Deal, but he grew impatient with its slow progress. He wanted the federal government to nationalize or assume control of the entire banking system. Huey Long pushed for a radical redistribution of wealth across the country. Roosevelt received his harshest criticism in 1937 when he attempted to change the face of the Supreme Court. FDR's court packing plan, as it came to be known, was seen by many as a serious threat to the constitutional principle of separation of powers. In order to understand this episode fully, we have to remember a few basic facts about the Supreme Court. First, the court is made up of 9 justices. That number is set by Congress, and only Congress can change it. The U.S. Constitution stipulates that the President nominates Supreme Court justices, and once confirmed, they serve for life. A president cannot remove a judge or a justice for any reason. Also, a president cannot nominate anyone new to the Supreme Court unless there is an opening due to retirement, death, or impeachment of that justice. That being said, in 1935, the Supreme Court heard a case that challenged the constitutionality of parts of the National Industrial Recovery Act of 1933. The court ruled in favor of the plaintiff. Fearing that the Supreme Court would overrule and dismantle other aspects of the New Deal, Roosevelt unveiled his court-packing plan. In it, he proposed that the president be able to nominate a new Supreme Court justice whenever a sitting justice reached the age of 70 and did not retire. The idea, of course, was that Roosevelt would be able to seat more justices who would be sympathetic to the New Deal. If successful, the president would have much more influence on the third branch of government. Ultimately, Congress rejected the proposal. They recognized it as a threat to a basic constitutional limit on the power of the presidency. In the end, the New Deal greatly impacted the nature and responsibilities of the federal government, but it is difficult to assess the effectiveness of the New Deal in ending the Great Depression. By 1941, most of the devastating impacts of the Depression had ended. Much of that, however, was due to the onset of U.S. involvement in World War II.